Hi, it's State Representative Jim Walsh here at the state capitol on a slightly windy Tuesday for our latest update. I want to try to cover in good detail but quickly two issues this time. First, the wildfires that are affecting many people living in eastern Washington, particularly outside of Spokane. And secondly, some controversy around one of the recent redistricting decisions for one of the legislative districts in the Yakima area. But first, let's talk about the wildfires. There are a couple of these wildfires going on. The largest, called the Gray Fire, because of the area where it started. And these fires are affecting both the transportation travel along Interstate 90, as well as some residents. And unfortunately, there have been a couple of fatalities, a couple of deaths so far connected to these wildfires. There's a lot of rhetoric going on about the nature of the fires, whether it's climate change related or not. But leaving that aside, the governor has declared a state of emergency for that area because of the wildfires. And I've gotten some concerned questions from constituents and people all around the state about, once again, are we getting in a situation where emergency powers will be overused or abused? But this is the kind of situation that is appropriate for the governor to declare an emergency, a state of emergency, and invoke some of his emergency powers. These are emergency powers that we, the people, working through the legislature, grant the governor for responding through government agencies, both at the federal and state level, and moving resources, moving money resources, both from the federal and state levels, into places, specific geographic areas that are affected by things like wildfires. So while I know there is continuing concern about potential abuses and overuses of emergency powers, the emergency declaration in response to these fires in the Spokane County area, I think, is appropriate. We'll keep our eye on it and make sure that they don't go too far or try to use them too widely. But responding to wildfires is a good use of the emergency powers we grant the governor. Now, to this issue in Yakima, remember, we redistrict our legislative and congressional districts in Washington every 10 years after the U.S. Census takes effect. The recent redistricting of the 15th legislative district in Yakima is controversial. It was controversial from the start. There have been lawsuits about it, and one of the lawsuits went to a judge who ruled that the district may not comply with Federal Voting Rights Act and needs to be redrawn to more effectively represent the local population in that area. This is not entirely a surprise, but the court order opens up an interesting bunch of issues over the next couple of months. The court gave the legislature, which is legally responsible for implementing redistricting every 10 years, until early 2024 to resolve the issues that it found in the current configuration of the 15th legislative district. How do we do that? We are not in session until January of 2024, so the timing may require another special session to be called in order for the legislature to put in works a potential redrawing of that legislative district to comply with the concerns voiced by the court. We already had one special session this year to resolve finally the Blake fix on decriminalizing the use and possession of hard drugs. This would require perhaps another special session of the legislature here in Olympia to begin the process of reconsidering the shape of the 15th legislative district. The court's concerns have to do with the ethnic makeup of the population living in the 15th district. We may have to find a way to reconfigure it to better reflect particularly the Hispanic population of that part of the state. It's a complicated process. Here in the state of Washington, we appoint a commission to handle most of our redistricting issues, but the legislature is ultimately responsible for resolving redistricting problems. We may call a special session to reappoint the commission to resolve its drawing of the 15th legislative district, Or we may just come up with a plan negotiated directly by the legislature. I'll keep you posted going forward about whether and how we have a special session here in Olympia to resolve the issues around that particular legislative district in Yakima. So multiple things going on right now. We're watching the wildfires on the eastern side of the state around Spokane, and we're looking at a redistricting issue in the Yakima area. A lot going on, even though it's summer here in Olympia. I'll keep you posted. Talk to you again soon.